Hi there. In this video, I'm going to review what we did in 8th grade English Language Arts on Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. So students met in a live meet. Our goal for today was, and we'll look at it, to review the class planner, to know what and how to navigate through Google Classroom, to understand what websites may be needed, and then to complete an activity called organizing your browser. So before we go back here, we're going to go back into Google Classroom, and I'm going to choose 4th period for this, or ELA 4, and I'm going to click on the Google Classroom. So there are some things that are the same in Google Classroom from what they were last year, and there are some things that are definitely different. One of the things that is the same is that this main stream will carry announcements. One thing that's different is that this main screen, or the stream as we see at the top, will not carry class assignments. So if you're hoping to, just click through whatever class assignment you had without going anywhere else, you won't be able to do that. But in order to do that, you can go to the Classwork tab, which is at the top, and let's look at that. So in the Classwork tab, assignments will be organized by week. So for example, the first topic says the week of September 8th. If I click on that, what I'll see is that there is now an assignment or a posting for today, and it's listed as Tuesday. There wasn't one for yesterday because we didn't have class yesterday. Tomorrow's will be posted as Wednesday. Okay, so let's click on the Tuesday, and now we see what we have available. So there's the planner. And when you come to class every day, or when you start class, the first thing you want to do is open that planner slide. There are also other materials that you may need during class today. In the planner slide, this is the same thing. If you had my class last year, you would have seen this at the start of class when you walk in. It's on the screen. It's up there all day. So there are parts of the planner that are important to know. Today's date will always be there. The goal, and our goal today, I can understand my schedule and how to access information. That's there. They're the planner list. These 1 through 4, those are the things that you want to write in your planner. And it's a good idea to have this slide up right at the start of class while you're waiting for everyone else to come into the Zoom. That's a time, or into the Meet, that's a time that you can work in your planner and writing those things down. If there's something due today, you'll see it here. And then finally on the right where it says homework, there's a browser organization assignment that I'll talk about in a minute. And also in Parent Square, you have been sent the syllabus. So your mom, dad, aunt, grandma, whoever's responsible for you has been sent it. They need to click to review and then return that. They're reviewing and acknowledging that they've reviewed the syllabus is your first assignment. It's a 10-point assignment. It'll be posted in Student View this afternoon. Okay. Looking down at the bottom, I see where it says warm up. That is... that will, as we get into starting class with a quick write or a free write or whatever we start class with, it'll say that in the warm-up. And that's like the first 6 to 10 minutes of class. Right now it's an announcement. It says by next Monday, September 14th, you'll need to have a composition notebook, so something that looks like this, that's dedicated just to language arts. It's not something that I've got ELA here and then there's math in the back. It's just language arts. You'll also need to have an independent reading book, something that you're reading on your own. A book like Sting or Wide Awake or any of these ones that you're reading. And we'll talk about ways that you can get a hold of reading books if you don't have them at home. Like later on in class next week, we'll look at how to check out books from the Hanby library or how to check out books from the young adult library that has traditionally been in my classroom, or how to get a Gold Hill library card, or find books online. So we'll have more information on that. But really, as soon as possible, you want to have a book in your hand. And that book should be next to you every day in class. Up here at the top, there are some icons. And what that says is, what are the things that you need to have ready at the start of class? So if you saw that and you walked into my classroom, you would say, oh, I need to have my assignment. I need to have my composition notebook out on my desk. And sure enough, you'd have that right there. Well, in distance learning, it's the same thing. If you see that icon that says composition notebook, what you're telling yourself is this thing is going to be in my hand next to my computer when class starts. And I know I'm ready. The other one, the thing that looks like a book, well, it's a book. So have that ready as well. Okay, so some other places that we went during class today is we also looked at the Hanby webpage, and it's got a couple of things on it that can be useful for you. So one is if you are ever missing the schedule, like the distance learning schedule, it's down here. And with the distance learning schedule, we also talked about the difference between a class period and a block. So a class period, that's what your schedule in Student View says, and that is what you will follow when you're at school. Okay, while we're doing distance learning, we've got blocks. And so basically you want to find whatever class you have first period, it's one of these, or if you know your cohort color. And then you'll track that throughout the day. So the block times are over on the left, and the classes are. So if you're in fourth, if you start the day with math, you're going to have math from 8:15 to 9:15. Then you're going to have science, then social studies, and then language arts. If you start the day with science, your schedule looks like this. Okay? So this is a way that you can easily access your schedule if you haven't printed it out. Okay? Another thing we looked at on the Hanby webpage is this thing up here that says Team Links. And if you click on that, and then you follow the one to the 8th grade team, there is a website that is dedicated just to fantastic people like you in the 8th grade. So up here, there is a link for meeting your teachers. You can find all sorts of personal and potentially embarrassing information about us. There's a link for class syllabi. There's a link for class pages. And again, this is for each of your core classes. And then finally, there's this big one over on the right that says Team Links. And there are things in here like, how do I contact Miss Amber for tutoring? Or what if I want to log into my email? Or what if I want to check my grades or go to Google Classroom or access Acellus? You'll find more about that out on Friday. There are also things down here like, how do I behave in a Google Meet? Or what should I know about writing emails? And we'll work on those things later on this week in class as well. But know that these resources are here for you. So during class, we also made a Padlet. We went to a website called Padlet. I put a post up and I asked this question. List what you're curious about this year and what you're nervous about, and then add a related image. And what you can see is that a number of students did this. They certainly wrote their curious and nervous. Some took their pictures. Some wrote other things down. If you miss class, while you won't be able to complete the Padlet itself, you will be able to complete an alternate assignment. And when we have graded days, I will post that on the feed here, so you'll know what you need. So, basically, if you're doing this from home because you don't have internet at school, or you don't have internet at home, or it's getting recorded or whatever, you can still get your participation points, but you'll have to do it differently. And so stay tuned and I'll help you figure out what that is. So the last part of class today, we did something called asynchronous learning, which means I gave an assignment and then I was online and ready to help people, but they worked on it on their own. And so going back to Google Classroom, that's this thing right here. It's called Steps for Organizing Your Browser. And I'm trying to get you to a point where, just like, during the week at school, the first week of school, we're visiting like the cafeteria and we're going outside and we're looking at bus tutoring. We're looking at all these things, and it's like, how do we make sure we know kind of where we need to go when we're on campus, what we're doing, what those different things are, so that we can be totally successful while we're at school. So it's the same thing here, except we're doing this in a digital environment. So in this assignment here, which is Steps for Organizing Your Browser, what this gives you is a step-by-step way to set up the web browser on your computer. And you should be using Google Chrome. It's possible for you to use Firefox. It's possible for you to use Internet Explorer. It's possible for you to use Opera. But because you're working in the Google universe, Google Chrome is it's the fastest. So it's not a huge program. It takes less bandwidth off of your computer, things like that. So this website right here, or this assignment, Steps for Organizing Your Browser, walks you through the various steps of setting up the bookmarks on your screen. Okay. It'll walk you through creating folders and things like that. And we'll pause at this last screen down here. When you're finished, your screen should look like the one that you see here. You should have a number of quick links, which are these things over here. And then you should have 4 folders, one for each of your core classes. And your language arts folder should have these things in it, plus the Pear Deck join code. Okay, so this is your finished product. In class, you would have the rest of the time you needed to work on it. Good work. I'll see you tomorrow.